Hello and welcome everyone to our channel. Today we will do our next chapter of English Book 5 SCERT, Chapter 7, and the name is The Little Fir Tree. Yashita, are you ready?
Yes,
Alright, looks like a picture of a magician. Have you ever seen a magic show, Yashita?
yes,
And did you like it?
yes, I like it.
Fantastic. As we always say, there are some exercises in the beginning and the end of the chapter. You can always do those with your friends and teacher. We will straight away move on to the reading part.
Shetty, the magician, was returning home when all of a sudden it began to rain. It rained heavily. Shetty looked around for shelter and saw a pretty little fir tree. It ran towards it as fast as he could.
Soon the rain stopped. Shetty was happy that he did not get wet.
Thank you. You have been kind to me. I would like to reward you. Ask for 4 wishes and I will grant them, said the magician.
The sad fir tree had leaves like needles, and no birds ever made their nests on it. So it said, I wish I had green leaves like my other friends.
Next morning, its wish was granted. Soon a goat came along and ate all the green leaves. Oh dear, said the fir tree. I wish I had gold leaves, as goats do not eat gold leaves.
When the little fir tree woke up the next morning, it was surprised to see gold leaves.
How happy I am, it said.
A man came along and stole the gold leaves.
I wish I had glass leaves instead. Men do not steal glass leaves.
The next day, its glass leaves shone in the bright sun. How happy I am, it said.
At night, the wind blew. Whoo! And the glass leaves broke. All the glass leaves broke.
Oh dear, said the fir tree. I like my old needle-like leaves best, for goats do not eat them.
No man can steal them.
The wind will do them no harm.
The tree went to sleep. When it woke up in the next morning, it had all its needles back again.
Oh, I never was so happy, said the little fir tree. Did you like it?
Yes, I liked it.
Okay, and anything that you learned?
Yes.
That is?
That we should happy with it.
Right, whatever we have, I think it's good for what we have, and we should be happy about it. Okay, now we will move on to the exercise part, and the first part is about word meaning in context. Alright, so the first word is magician.
A person who performs magic tricks.
Shelter.
A place that protects people or things.
Pretty.
Beautiful.
Reward.
Prize.
Grant.
Fulfill.
Instead.
In its place.
Right, okay. We will move on to the comprehension part. And the first one is about ticking the correct options that complete the given sentences. I will read the first part. Yashita, please complete the sentence for us.
Okay.
The pretty little fir tree was happy with the gold leaves, but
A man stole them
the fir tree was sad.
because it had needle-like leaves.
The fir tree was not happy with the gold leaves.
Because a man stole them.
And the last one is, the third wish of the fir tree was
To get its needles back.
fantastic. Now we will move on to the questions and answers. I will read the questions and Yashita will help us with the correct answers. First question is, where did the magician take shelter?
The magician took shelter under a little fir tree.
Under a little fir tree. All right. Second question is, what was the first wish of the fir tree?
The first wish of the fir tree was to have green leaves like its other friends.
Okay, we'll move on to the third question. What happened after the first wish of the fir tree was fulfilled?
A goat came and ate all its green leaves after the first wish of the fir tree was fulfilled.
Okay. All right. So the goat actually ate all the leaves. Fourth question is, why did the fir tree wish to have gold leaves?
The fir tree wished to have gold leaves because goats do not eat them.
Right. Question number 5. What happened to the fir tree's gold and glass leaves?
The gold leaves were stolen by a man, and the glass leaves broke because of the wind.
Okay. Sixth question is, how did the fir tree feel when it got its needles back again?
The fir tree felt so happy when it got its needles back again.
Great. And we have the last question. What is the writer trying to tell through the story?
The writer is trying to tell us that we should be happy with what we have.
Yes. All right. Fantastic. We will move to the next part. It says, in the story, the fir tree helped the magician by saving him from the rain. The magician became happy. Now we need to write in the appropriate column the following actions. So there are some actions given in the box. We need to write all these actions in one of the columns given here. Okay? You ready, Yashita?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right. So can you please tell us what actions need to be put under actions that make people happy?
Respecting elders, visiting a sick friend, caring for pets, planting trees, keeping place neat and clean, playing with friends, being polite, being honest.
Okay. Just one correction, Yashita. The spelling of friend here needs to be IEND, and here as well. Okay, we'll correct
Okay.
it. And also this is pronounced as being honest. All right. Okay, now can you tell us the actions that make people unhappy?
Watching television all day, being greedy, being selfish, not saying thank you, not sharing things, telling lies, wasting water, getting angry, laughing at others, throwing waste material here and there.
Great. This is a good exercise. Okay. We'll move to the next part of the exercise. It is about vocabulary. What we need to do is we need to rewrite the sentences by changing the highlighted words with their opposites. So one has already been done in the exercise. The first one is, okay, Yashita, can you please? Okay, I'll say the first line. You just say the answer to it. Okay. The first one is already done. It says the magician saw a pretty little fir tree.
The magician saw an ugly little fir tree.
Okay. Now the first sentence given is soon the dancing and singing stopped.
Soon the dancing and singing started.
So we have started instead of stopped. Second is the master has been very kind to the servant.
The master has been very unkind to servant.
To the servant. Okay, now we have unkind for kind. Third is there were marks of little steps on the ground.
There are marks of big steps on the ground.
Okay, now this has to be were, because here also it's were, right? So we have little and here we have big. Great. Next is it is very cold today.
It is very hot today.
Right.
There will be today.
Yes, we'll correct it. We have hot in place of cold. Next is I lost my notebook.
I found my notebook.
Opposite of lost is found. The day is very bright today.
The day is very dull today.
We have dull instead of bright. Fantastic. Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to the next part. What we need to do is we just need to suffix. Suffix is something that is added after the word. Okay? And prefix is something that is added before the word. So now we need to add suffix IAN. Okay? And this will become a common noun. Are you ready, Yashita?
Yes.
Okay, the first one is magic.
Magician.
Music.
Musician.
Optic.
Optician.
Do you know what optician is?
Yes.
Optician is someone who checks eyes
Yes.
and give lenses. Right. Okay. For grammar,
Grammarian.
grammarian. Right. Second column is, first one is comedy.
Comedian.
History.
Historian.
Historian is someone who looks into, who reads history. Library.
Librarian.
Librarian is someone who takes care of the library. Custody.
Custodian.
Custodian. Custodian is someone who's taking care of something or someone. Okay, great. Next, we will use these common nouns to complete the sentences. Okay, the first one is a librarian.
A librarian is a person who takes care of books in a library.
Right, so we can always learn the definitions from this part. Second is grammarian.
A grammarian is a person who studies grammar.
A magician.
A magician is a person who plays tricks for entertainment.
A musician.
A musician is a person who plays music.
An optician.
An optician is a person who makes or sells lenses.
A historian.
A historian is a person who writes history.
A comedian.
A comedian is a person who makes you laugh.
A custodian.
A custodian is a person who cares for something or someone.
Great. Fantastic. Now this is interesting. This is grammar. This will help us frame or make appropriate and correct sentences. Read the following sentences. Can you read the sentences, Yashita?
Yes. First is I wish I were a magician. Second is I wish I had many toys.
Right. So as you see, both these sentences express an imaginary wish. In both of these sentences, I wish is followed by a subject and a simple past tense. It means I wish I could do something, right? Suppose an angel appears before you and asks you to make 5 wishes. What wishes will you make? Write them in your notebook. So of course you can do this in your spare time. I'm sure it's a fun exercise. Okay. Next, look at the following sentences taken from the story. Can you read the sentence?
Yes. The magician was returning home when all of a sudden it began to rain.
It began to rain. Now the verb in bold, was returning, is in the past continuous tense. Right? Past, which has already happened. Continuous, which was happening. Okay? And the verb in italics, began, is in simple past tense. So we are talking about 2 different types of actions. One is past continuous and second is simple past. Okay? Now we will move on to the fill in the blanks part of the exercise. So basically we need to complete these sentences using verbs in appropriate either past tense or past continuous tense. First example is when I reached is simple past tense. Home yesterday, my grandmother was praying. Was praying is past continuous. You got it, Yashita?
Yes.
Okay. Now can you start with the first one?
Yes. What were you doing when I called you last night?
Okay. Can you tell us which one is past continuous?
Continuous is doing.
And simple past?
Called.
Second?
I was sitting in the cafe when the telephone bell rang. The continuous past tense is was sitting and simple past tense is rang.
Right.
Third is when we reached the station, the passengers were boarding the train. Simple past tense is reached and continuous past tense is were boarding.
Right, this is past continuous. Okay. Fourth?
I was watching TV when someone knocked at the door. Continuous past tense is I was watching and simple past tense is knocked. When the mother entered the room, the child was crying. The simple past tense is entered and Continuous past tenses was crying.
Great. Do we have more? Yes.
Yes, there's.
Okay. Can you read these sentences?
Yes. First is the rain stopped. Shetty was happy.
So these are
Verbs.
simple,
Past tense.
simple past tense. Okay. These sentences can be changed into negative as below. How do we change it negative? By adding
Not. And did.
right. So in place of stopped, we simply use did not. In place of was, we didn't use was not. Can you say it?
The rain did not stop. Shetty was not happy.
Right. When we make a verb negative in the simple past tense, we change it in the following way. We simply insert a note after was or were. Right? But when the verb is in the past tense, such as stopped, we simply put did and not. Okay? Can you share these examples?
Yes. First is I stopped becomes I did not stop. Second is the teacher taught becomes the teacher did not teach. Third is I was absent yesterday becomes I was not absent yesterday.
Right. Now, since we have learned with a few examples, we will do the fill in the blanks exercise. Okay, please read.
Yes. Our class went to the Pragati Maidan yesterday, but Deepak, our class monitor, did not come. I met my cousin at gate number 6. We decided to visit Haryana Pavilion. We reached there soon. There was not a long queue at the entrance of the stall. A boy was eating ice cream. He threw the empty cup on the ground. But I asked him to put it into the dustbin. He did not like it at first, but when we put it
When he explained.
yes when we explained the importance of cleanliness, he felt sorry and agreed to our advice.
Great. All right. So once again, this exercise was about using either did not or simply not in simple past sentences. Okay. All right. Did you learn a lot?
Yes.
Great. So this covers the chapter number 7 of English book 5 of SCERT. Once again, thank you very much for joining us. Keep smiling and have a very good time ahead. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.